Good morning. This is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato morning headlines on April 16, 2022. Macron wants cap on shocking and excessive executive pay. The Guardian, Macron attacks astronomical pay for bosses as French election battle heats up. The Telegraph, Macron, Le Pen decry shocking Stellantis CEO pay. The Independent, Macron urges EU-wide executive pay curbs in campaign battle with Le Pen. Financial Times, Macron backs EU-wide pay cap for CEOs in nod to left-wing voters. Freedom and fear. Life in one of the few countries that COVID hasn't touched. Trump endorses hillbilly elegy author J.D. Vance in Ohio Republican primaries. The Guardian, Trump backs GOP's J.D. Vance in U.S. Senate primary in Ohio. The Independent, Trump plans to endorse hillbilly elegy author J.D. Vance in Ohio Senate race. NBC News, Trump endorses J.D. Vance in Republican primary for Senate in Ohio. The New York Times, Trump endorses longshot Republican J.D. Vance, despite concerns from GOP allies. World must prepare for Putin using nuclear weapons in Ukraine, warns Zelensky. The Independent, desperate Vladimir Putin may use tactical nuclear weapons, warns CIA chief. The Times, Zelensky warns Putin may use nuclear weapons. CNN, US. Cannot take lightly threat Russia could use nuclear weapons, CIA chief. Reuters.com, CIA director calls Bucker killings crimes, assails Putin. That was my beloved son, family of Patrick Lyoya say police killed their son in an execution. Ukraine says fighting rages in Mariupol, blasts rattle Kyiv. Ukraine war, heartbroken mothers mourn two lifelong friends tortured by Russian soldiers. First prisoner to be executed in South Carolina in 10 years picks firing squad over electric chair. Sky News, South Carolina death row prisoner chooses firing squad over electric chair. The Guardian, first death row inmate to face execution in South Carolina in a decade chooses to die by firing squad. The Independent, South Carolina prisoner chooses to be executed by firing squad. The New York Times, South Carolina death row inmate chooses to be executed by firing squad over the electric chair. Russia near to defaulting on overseas debts, says rating agency. The Guardian, Russia may be in default on foreign bonds after paying in rubles, Moody's warns. The Independent, Russia heading for default, says Moody's Business. The Times, Russia may be in default after ruble payment. The Telegraph, rubles for dollar debt may be considered default, Moody's says. I will die here, I can't go back to Africa, migrants respond to Rwanda removal. The Guardian, Priti Patel stands by plan to send asylum seekers arriving in UK illegally to Rwanda. The Telegraph, UN Refugee Agency condemns Boris Johnson's Rwanda asylum plan. The Guardian, letters, send migrants to Scotland, not Rwanda. We need them here. Herald Scotland, Ipswich MP Tom Hunt on sending asylum seekers to Rwanda. Bodies of more than 900 civilians found in Kyiv region after Russia's withdrawal, police say. The Independent, Russia-Ukraine war latest, Russian warship sunk by Ukraine missile strike, say US officials, bodies of 900 civilians found in Kyiv region, live. The Guardian, police, more than 900 civilian bodies found in Kyiv region. Somerset live, bodies, landmines and destruction, a Ukrainian region digs out after the Russian occupation. Politico Europe, number of civilians found dead in Kyiv region passes 900. South Africa flooding death toll nears 400 as rescuers search for missing. The Guardian, death toll rises as South Africa reels from intense flooding. The Times, South African police disperse crowd demanding more aid after deadly floods. The Independent, more than 340 dead in South African flood. NBC News, South African police disperse crowd calling for aid after flooding. Ukraine war, historically significant defense of Ukraine is tormenting Russian troops, says Zelensky. Sky News, Ukraine News, live, Zelensky tells Ukrainians to be proud of surviving 50 days as Russian flagship sinks. The Independent, Ukraine morning briefing, 5 developments as Volodymyr Zelensky praises Ukraine for withstanding 50 days of war. The Telegraph, Ukraine says 2500, 3,000 of its troops killed in war, no count of civilian deaths. Reuters.com, Zelensky hails Ukrainians resolve 50 days into invasion. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.